Well, boys and girls, you join me on the Pecatonica River in Browntown, Wisconsin. I think we're closer to Gratoit now. And anyway, today's river is not super thin, probably 20 feet wide in most sections, but there's a ton of deadfall on it, and there is a stream we're going to hit later, pending everything else goes well. So, already been out on the river a couple miles, and I think I just hit some deadfall that I don't know that I can get through. I think I can get through it, but I don't know if I want to. It is September 20th now in Wisconsin, so it's not super warm out. I am still in no shirt, but I'm not super excited to get in the water, so we're not going to get too wild today. But I do have to get through all this deadfall to get back, and I'm kind of considering, there's the deadfall that we're flowing away from right now. I'm kind of considering giving it a shot. Let's go take a look at it at least.
So throughout this entire video, you will probably notice a trend of me trying to talk to the camera over the boat. And believe it or not, a 700cc twin two-stroke right behind my head is quite loud. So please disregard my incomprehensible rambling throughout the video. So after we got across our first set of logs, we continued upstream, or upriver in this case, until we hit the next blockage.
All right, I think I just found another spot that's gonna be kind of tough. Let's see if we can handle it. I chickened out. I shouldn't have chickened out. I definitely could jump that. All right, shouldn't have chickened out. That was on me. I definitely could have jumped that log. I just dented this thing the last time I was out. So I'm a little nervous to do that again. See if I can even get out of here before I talk about trying it again. I probably could fit under. There's a tree right in front of me. I could probably fit under almost.
So with that, we went ahead and gave it another shot. So basically what I was saying and all that gibberish is this is really my first time doing any sort of obstacles in the boat. So although jumping those little logs may not seem like much, it is the first obstacles I've ever done in this boat. And let me remind you, this is my first ever jet boat. I've never actually seen another one of these in person. I just built this one without ever seeing one in person. So we continued heading downstream towards the truck, but I did end up running into another little offshoot that we decided to try out for a minute.
Boys and girls, I regret to inform you we have put ourselves in a bit of a pickle. As you can see behind me, we found a big log jam. So I came back down the channel and then went up a different channel I've never been up. And this one's looking pretty impassable. I could probably get really wild and jump it there, but I am not doing that by myself. Because if I get to the other side and then can't get back or something, I'm screwed. And I could maybe go over here, but there's a big tree down there. But the pickle that we're in now is I was trying to spin around and get out of here, and then I wedged myself in the V of a tree branch. So I'm kind of like sitting on a boat trailer, basically. Cradle. I gotta figure out how to get myself off of it. I'm pinned here because of the current. So we'll see how this goes. Great success. I knocked you guys off with my thigh trying to jam ourselves off of here, but oh, we made it. All right, we're out of there. Well, I think that channel's blocked off, and I was planning on spending some time up there. Let's get a little closer and investigate one more time. Make sure there's no somewhat doable path through. There's a ball. Wilson! There's a lot of balls over there. There's like a whole baseball field of balls over there. All right, let me put the camera down and focus on paddling my way out of here. Yeah, so there's no way through here, reasonably so. I'm gonna end up in this log jam. Idiot! Okay, well, this river channel is gonna have to get crossed off as not doable currently without maybe a Cat 314 excavator and a grapple or one hell of a chainsaw. That's a shame. All right, let's head back towards the truck. There's a small little river, or actually a creek, Skinner Creek I want to hit, right by the boat launch.
So once we were freed from the log jam, we rocketed back towards the truck because now I knew the river a little bit better and felt a little confident getting up to some speed.
Way more abrupt than I think it will be. All right, we did a little once over at the boat ramp. Everything checked out pretty good. We had some exhaust bolts that kept backing off. They still are backing off. I got the Loctite on it last night at like 1 a.m. when I put this thing back together, and we're drifting into a rock wall. Nice. All right, let's go try our hand at Skinner Creek. Doesn't look that skinny as some of the stuff we've done before, but I think it'll just get skinnier and skinnier as we go. Hopefully it's a while before we hit a solid wall of deadfall. or two up the creek now, and man, this is gonna be a challenge. Didn't film on the way up because I'm getting low on battery on the GoPro, but let's try and get out of here. All right, hit the ground. It got really shallow really quick. This thing does not like turning right. I gotta adjust the steering. Man, that's like 4 feet above the river that we just slammed into the bank. Oh man. Yeah, sorry, I hit that tree and I couldn't. Oh crap. Oh, we're sinking. Oh, we're sinking big time. Why are we sinking? That's a lot of water. Uh-oh. We are big time full of water. Crap. It's all the way up to my feet. I gotta get going again to start pumping. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay. Crap. How did that happen? Well, we got her out of the main canal, which is not very deep, so if we sunk it, we wouldn't lose it. But I still need to drag this thing out of here. I don't know why the hell we're taking on so much water. It was all the way up to my feet up there. Man, this thing is wrecked. Mud and trees. Glad I got that bilge pump. I put a hole in the bottom of it or what? I see a random chunk of aluminum floating around down here. I wonder what that's about.
So after tipping the boat up on its side and inspecting the whole bottom of the boat, I couldn't find a single hole or anything that would be letting in some water. So I figured while it was mostly drained out, we better get going and head back towards the truck. Now this boat motor does have a pumping function on it while it's running. There's actually an internal bilge pump built into the jet pump. So that is definitely your friend in a situation like this where you don't know where water's coming from.
water for a few minutes at the boat ramp, just kind of chilling, and it's not filling up with water. So I didn't think about it till now, but we were way up on that hillside. I mean, we were like I said, it was like 4 feet up out of the water line that this front end hit. I'm guessing the rear end dipped down and a bunch of water came splashing in. And thankfully we had that pump, and we were in shallow water anyway, so I don't think this thing even would have sank all the way, but we got lucky there. So I'm glad it's not a hole or something I got to fix underneath this thing. We will still do a damage report when we pull it out with the crane, because it was a rough day on this little guy. The beginning of the day started out easy, and then we started hitting log jumps, and then Skinner Creek really took it out of us. That was a tough little creek. That was a lot of fun though. All right, we got her up in the air, loading her on the truck. Got a couple weeds in the intake. Don't want to get underneath this thing. Running the builds, pump everything out of it. Some scrapes, maybe a minor dent. I think that's just a water droplet. I think we remain pretty unscathed, huh? Sweet. All right, what a day. The Pecatonica whatever river, and I don't even remember the name of the creek. Skinner Creek, I think. Put a workout on me and the boat, but we both came out of it unscathed. Boat seems to be in good shape. We've had a lot of issues with the muffler cracking, or the mount actually that holds the bread box up here on. Keeps working the bolts out and cracking the mount. We got a little bit of movement, but I doubled the thickness of it, reinforced the crap out of it, welded it up even more last night, stayed up to like 1 a.m. fixing that. And that seems to be in much better shape now. Otherwise, the boat seemed to hold up pretty good, especially for sort of sinking there for a minute. I believe my theory of it just being too high in the front, we must have taken in a bunch of water over the back. I need to get the deck on it this winter to help prevent that, or at least, slow it down. But prior to sinking it, we learned a lot about this boat. We jumped our first logs today, kind of above the water. Nothing huge. I know a lot of people do a lot crazier stuff, but this is my first jet boat, so I'm still learning this all. So I learned a lot on the river, had a lot of fun, even though we got our crap beat out of us on several occasions. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I don't know if we'll come back to this river or try another river next, but I had a lot of fun here today. Catch you guys on the next one.